Hey, gorgeous. How are you? Happy Tuesday. It's Bex. Welcome back to another Tune Up Tuesday where I support you in tuning your heart to the frequency of love. I just realized I left my notes over there. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. All right, sister. So I am super inspired about today's Tune Up Tuesday because I was coaching a client yesterday and we had a really beautiful moment of realization and aha around patterns that show up when we are approached by less than extraordinary men. So how many of you out there, just by a raise of hands, throw me some hearts or drop me a comment in the box below, have experienced this, either getting hit up on an online dating profile or getting hit on in real life person, or in my client's case, getting hit up by text message months after she was stood up by a coffee date. And she's like, why is this person popping back up in my field? Like, eye roll moment, ugh. So today's Tune Up Tuesday is, what do we do about this that is in service to our vision of attracting lasting love, right? Because this is such a huge moment and such a wonderful point of transformation that I see, that I'm really excited to impart on you. So the very first thing is, and you guys hear me talk about this all the time, but recognize your eye roll moment. Anytime you're getting like we know this moment. We notice when like something happens, you get a message or you have an interaction or something doesn't happen that we expected it to, and we have this sinking feeling, right? And it's like you might even feel it somatically throughout your body. You might feel it like emotionally, like somewhere behind the eyes. You might feel a stinging sensation. You might feel your eyes roll back into your head and just, all right? That's your eye roll moment. And that, my friend, is a beautiful moment of potential transformation. So if you're just joining us, the eye roll moment is your golden gateway for transformation, because when we can catch this eye roll moment and work backwards, then we can start shifting our experience and shifting not only our experience, but then eventually our outcome and results. So notice your eye roll moment. And then the next thing, when you've noticed your eye roll moment, trace it back, check your thought. What thought bred that eye roll moment? And was it, okay, I got this text message from this guy who stood me up months ago, and oh God, what the fuck is he doing bothering to write me? Or like, who does he think he is? Okay. So those are some of the thoughts. I know those are some of the thoughts that I might have, and have had in the past. So when you're checking your thoughts, I want you to ask yourself these questions. I want you to ask yourself, does that thought support my vision of attracting lasting love? Like if I'm sitting here in judgment of this man for his actions 2 or 3 months ago, is that supporting my vision of attracting my forever man, my soulmate relationship? Not so much, okay? Next question, does this create connection? And not just with the person that's messaging you or reaching out or dropping the ball or whatever's happening to create the eye roll moment. Whatever your thought is about that person, is it creating connection not just with him, but does it create connection like around men? Okay, because I strongly believe that the universe doesn't differentiate between one man and all of men, and I know that they are very different, and there's a big spectrum, a wide spectrum of how they show up on this planet. At the same time, I believe in conscious dating practice that every single person who crosses our path is an opportunity to stretch, to grow, to learn, and to practice. So, are you creating connection, or are you creating disconnection with your thoughts? Not only your thoughts, but then of course your responses, your actions. But hopefully we're catching this process before you react. Wah! Why the fuck you? Who do you think you are? Don't you know who I am? Okay, I'll stop. But those were definitely my reactions before I learned and adopted this practice. So, does that thought support my vision? Does this create connection? And then the third question is this energetically charged? Or is this emotionally charged? I mean, you can interchange them, but what I mean by that is, am I having strong emotions about this person, and am I putting that energy into that? Okay, so what does that mean? Yeah, like, of course you're having strong emotions. This person, maybe he stood you up, or maybe he dropped the ball, or maybe he said something that it didn't land well or triggered you in some way. And so you're allowed to feel what you feel, of course. At the same time, though, are you carrying that feeling into reaction, or are you responding from a responsible place? Okay, so once you recognize your eye roll moment, once you check your thoughts and ask yourself those 3 questions, then I want you to remember these 2 things, okay? And you can write these down, put them on a Post-it note, and wherever you can see them on a daily basis. But the first one is, life isn't happening to you, it's happening through you, right? And that's a quote from one of my mentors, Mary Morrissey, and she teaches that our life is not what's happening to us, but it's our perception and our experience of the facts that are happening around us. Okay, so given that thought, I like to take it even further, is that life is unfolding in your favor. It's all happening now. Okay, so write those 2 quotes down and really lean into them, because the next step of what happens when we get approached by unremarkable men, or less than extraordinary, or we have the option to react in a way that reflects back to them what we're receiving from them, or we get to respond from the queenly place, from the evolved, mature, adult, queenly goddess BFD self. Okay, so if we come from that place of life is happening through me, not to me, so that means that I can choose what experience to have in this moment. Not only that, but what if it's all happening in my favor? What if it's all unfolding in my favor and it's all happening now? Then that poses the question of, maybe this is a neutral. What if this is neutral? What if nothing's wrong? And that was actually the question that I posed to my client yesterday to think about. Like, what if we approach this situation as, there's nothing wrong, nobody's at fault? And if that were true, how would you then respond to the situation? Okay, now this doesn't mean that you can't have the emotions of feeling disappointed or frustrated, or but the question is, are you going to react from that? Are you going to engage with the person from that place, or are you going to take a breath, find your queenly self, find your centered self, your grounded self, and come from that higher place, which is neutral? Okay, so I invite you to exercise this, and every time, again, the way that I look at dating and attracting love is that it's all a practice, and every single person who crosses your path is a gift, is a blessing to practice on. So given that, I want you to consider what this looks like as a daily practice of, checking in with your eye roll moment, checking your thoughts, and coming from your queenly self when you react or respond or engage with that person, and being of the mind that perhaps this is neutral, there's nothing wrong. At the same time, if it's not the way you want to be treated, you can communicate that. Or if there are other needs not being met, you can communicate that, especially if it's a relationship that you want to prolong, if you want to grow and sustain. But if it's a situation like in my client's case, where it was just an interaction, via text message, somebody circling back on his list of women to date, and she didn't really feel as special. We were identifying okay, well, what needs were not met there, and is that something that needs to be communicated or not? And in this case, it was not. But at the same time, it was an opportunity for her to be really creative in how she responded to this guy, where in the past she would have just ignored it or blocked his number. But even that is putting up disconnection energy, right? And again, it doesn't mean that she's got to go out with the guy or even speak with him. But, well, I mean, if we want to build connecting energy, then there is an engagement that is required in this conversation, where it's, what she can reply is something like, thanks so much for reaching out. So lovely to hear from you. Or so interesting to hear from you. Thanks for reaching out. And I've moved on to something else. I hope you find what you're looking for. Totally neutral, releases him with blessing, and then she can block her number, his number, and never have to hear from him again. Okay, so I hope that this is supportive. I hope this helps you out in navigating the waters of less than extraordinary engagements and really coming from your best self with the energy that is not only connecting with men, the whole full circle of men in their glory, but also connecting you and being in alignment with the vision that you're calling in. Because whenever we're acting out of alignment with the harmony of the vision of what you're really desiring, we're just driving more time and space and distance between you and your beloved, who we want by your side, like yesterday. Okay? So listen, I have 1 week left of Your Majesty enrollment. I'm taking applications for 1 more week. We've got a few spaces left. And if this is something that you know that you need support with in not only identifying your eye roll moment, but checking your thoughts and taking pause and responding from a queenly place, building connection energy with men, building connection energy with your vision, let me know. I will drop the link to apply in the comments as well as the body of the post. And I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to see if this is the right next step for you. Honestly, I am looking for women who they've done as much as they can on their own, and they know that they just keep on getting the same results. And they know that working with a coach would be the thing to break them through these patterns and help them see what they can't see on their own. So if you're the kind of woman who would hire a business coach to break the ceiling in your profits, or to, get the promotion in your career, or if you're the kind of woman who would hire a trainer or a coach for a weight release goal or a fitness goal, an endurance goal, then let's have a conversation. Because what I offer as a love coach, what anybody offers as a love coach really, is that kind of, eagle eye perspective that we ourselves can't see on our own. So I would love to have a conversation with you and see if my year-long group coaching experience, Your Majesty, is the appropriate next step for you. I love you so much, and I will see you back here next Tuesday for another Tune Up Tuesday. And I'm always, always, always happy to answer your questions or do a whole Tune Up Tuesday talk around something that's going on in your love life. So if that's the case, you can drop me a comment in the box below, or you can shoot me an email at bex@bexburtoncoaching.com. I love hearing from you. All right, to your heart, Madara, here's to your love, here's to success, and I'll see you next week. Bye.